Today, I'm going to be showing you how to make all those gray hairs turn black the all natural way, only using 2 ingredients, all from nature, no chemicals, 100% all natural. So as I've gotten older, the gray hairs, they have just been popping in all over the place. They're coming nonstop. I can't stop it. But hey, it happens to everyone. It comes with the age. But say you get a little tired of that. Say you want to have yourself a little more youthful appearance. That's what we're going to do today by using this natural hair dye, the Henna and the Indigo. We're going to take these two and apply it to the hair. And I'm going to show you how to turn these gray hairs black. Me personally, I like having my hair natural. I let the grays come in. It shows that elderly look. It shows that wisdom. And also it looks kind of nice. But if you want to have your gray hairs black again, I'm going to show you the all natural way of how to do that, where you don't have to use any harmful chemicals or anything artificial. This is all natural. As natural as you can get. 2 ingredients. That's it. All plant-based. What we're going to do, we're going to use plants. We're going to use 100% natural henna, and we're also going to use 100% natural indigo. And both of these are derived from plant leaves. You got the henna, you take the leaves of the plant, you dry them out, you grind them up, and you get this powder that you see here. The same thing with the indigo. You take the plant, you dry out the leaves, you grind them up, and you get this powder. And when you mix these with water and you apply it to the hair, you can turn those gray hairs black again. And we're gonna do that in this 2-step process. Okay, so our first step, what we're gonna do, we're going to get our henna and we're going to measure out some of the henna into a bowl. I'm going to use about a half of cup. This is 1/4 cup. So I'm going to put another one in. And this is going to give us about 1/2 cup of henna. Depending upon how much hair you have will depend upon how much henna you use. The longer hair you have, the more henna you would need. And the next step, what you're going to do is you're going to take a cup of warm water and you're going to pour the warm water into the henna. Just like that. And you're going to get a spoon, you're going to mix this up until it's the consistency of yogurt. So you want to mix it up until it's kind of like, it kind of runs like how yogurt would do. This is kind of thick, so I'm going to add a little more water. There you go. And you can see how it is. So it's kind of like a trial and error. You're going to keep adding water until you mix it up and you're going to get that yogurt consistency. You can see it's taking form. Make sure all of the henna powder is absorbed by the water. Mixing it up just like that. And it's still kind of thick. Right now it kind of looks like cottage cheese, but I want to get rid of all of the lumps that are in here. So I'm going to add a little more water to it just to make it a little more loose consistency. There we go. This should do it. And if you pour too much water in, you can always add a little more henna to thicken it up a little bit more. You don't have to get like every single lump out, but the more you get out, the better. So once the henna is mixed up, you are going to take some plastic wrap, cover your bowl. And if you can, use a glass bowl or use a bowl that's not really going to stain, because the henna will stain in whatever area you're working with. It can stain. You're going to wrap it in plastic and you're going to let it sit overnight. The dyes need time to release, and once they're released, the color will get a little deeper. And then what we're going to do, we're going to apply this to the hair. First, we're going to wash our hair. Then we're going to apply this to the hair. So my hair is all washed. I've let the henna sit out about 8 to 24 hours. I recommend you wear gloves at this step because the henna will get messy and stain the fingers. You're going to apply it to the hair. Make sure you get all of the beard, the hair, all of the grays, all of the blacks. You want to cover that up with the henna. Massage it in there and get it all over. This is how it looks once it's all in there. Next step, you're going to take a plastic hair net, cover the head. This step is optional. You don't have to do this, but the henna does get messy and it gets all over. So you may want to do this, but it's optional. So you're just going to let this sit in the hair about 2 to 3 hours. Okay, so I washed my hair and I rinsed out all of the henna, the excess henna that was on there. And I just washed my hair with warm water. And you can see the results after the henna was applied. It dyed all of the grays this orangish reddish color. As you can see, all in the beard, up under there. That's what you get when you just use the henna alone. So now the next step, what we're gonna do, we're gonna apply the indigo right on top of this. And once the indigo sets in, these hairs that are this orangish reddish color, they should turn black once we apply the indigo. The indigo is kind of like a purplish greenish type color when you mix it up and when you put it on. But once it absorbs and dries into the hair, it's going to turn these hairs black. If we would have just did the indigo without the henna, then the hairs, they would have looked blue, green, purple. They wouldn't have turned out right. So that's why we have to do the two-step process, beginning with the henna first and then the indigo. Okay, our next step, we're gonna apply the indigo. I'm gonna use about a half a cup of indigo. This is my measuring cup. This is about a half a cup of indigo. This is all that I need for my hair length. And also what we're gonna do to the indigo, to make the indigo stick to the hair a little more better. This is optional. You don't have to do this. But what I'm going to use about a half a teaspoon of salt. And I'm going to mix that right into the indigo. This is optional, but when you add the salt, it allows for the indigo to adhere to the hairs a little better. It lets it stick a little longer. So the next step, just like what we did with the henna, we're gonna add some warm water. And we want the consistency to be about the consistency of yogurt. So that's what we're gonna do now. And this is a little more difficult to mix up because it doesn't quite, the indigo kind of floats on top of the water. And you really have to stir it and you really have to kind of chunk it up. It doesn't absorb the water all that good. So as you can see, it looks green. And this is how it initially looks once you start the mixing process. It's gonna look green. And then once it begins to dry, it's gonna turn into like a bluish purplish color. And when we did the henna, we had to let this sit out about 8 hours, 8 to 24 hours. You had to let the henna sit out, but not the indigo. The indigo, it only needs to sit out at least like probably just 10 minutes at the most. You can actually start applying it to your hair while it's like this. Okay, this is perfect. And we're gonna apply this right to the hair. I'm gonna get these gloves. You're gonna need some gloves because your fingers will get the dye on them and they will get a little messy. Got my indigo going on. You can see the indigo is more of a greenish tint. It's like a dark green, and it's gonna eventually turn a blue-black, like a purple type color once it sets in the hair. Massage it in so you get to the roots of the hair. Get it all in there. You wanna cover all of the orange. Color all of that orange. The henna, you wanna cover it with this indigo. The indigo is a lot thicker than the henna. When you put it on, it's gonna be a lot thicker, more pasty. So just keep that in mind. And also both the henna and the indigo, they have a weird smell. So you're gonna smell, and it's gonna have a weird smell. Just don't mind that. Okay, so I applied the indigo and you can see how it looks. Just gonna turn around just so you can see. Get it all over and cover those grays, the grays that you colored with the henna that turned orangish reddish color. Make sure you cover all of that with the indigo. But I'm gonna cover my hair with a plastic net, and the dyes can release, and that's gonna take about a 2-hour process. So once you have this on, you're gonna let this sit on for about 2 hours. That way the indigo can penetrate into the rest of the hair. And when we take this off and wash out the indigo, it should be a nice black color. I'm gonna cover the beard also. You don't have to, but once it dries, it starts to crumble and starts to fall. So I'm just gonna put this over the beard. Okay, so I've had the indigo in the hair setting about a little over 2 hours now. So I'm gonna take off the plastic bag. I'm gonna wash the hair and we're gonna see the final results. But first, let me take off the plastic bag so you can see how it looks. And you're gonna get some drips, so just be careful. You can see the dye in the bag. Gonna take this off. Okay, so this is how we're looking right now after a little over 2 hours with the indigo. So the next step that I'm gonna do, I am going to wash my hair with some warm water. I'm gonna wash all of this out. And after that, you should see the final results. It should all be black after I wash out this indigo. So we're all done. I think it turned out pretty good. If it didn't turn out quite how you wanted it, after that indigo, if you still see some of the henna popping through, some of the orangish red color of the hairs from the henna, you can always do a second application of the indigo. But I think it turned out pretty good. Let me know what you think. Like I say, I don't do this all the time. You know, this is just something I wanted to do just to show people, to give people some tips. Those of you who are interested in a natural hair color, who do not want to put all those chemicals from the other dyes up in your hair, this is something that you can try. It's all natural, 2 ingredients. You look at some of those other dyes that are sold in the stores, you're going to be reading all these things that you can't even pronounce, things you don't understand, all these chemicals that have these bad side effects, even cause cancer, some of these things. So, you know, when I was debating about dyeing my hair, I knew I didn't want to use the dyes that were out there with all those chemicals. And I was wondering, are there any natural ways or any natural ways for me to dye my hair? And I came across the henna and the indigo, and I gave it a shot, and it seemed to work out. There's no dripping, there's no running of it down my face when you sweat, work out. None of that happens. I haven't experienced that. When I lay down on a pillow, I don't see any of it coming off on there. The only thing that I do notice is when you get a rag and you scrub your face, you will see some of the dye on the rag from when you're scrubbing and everything. If you have a beard and you're scrubbing that. Also, you know, naturally, the more you wash your hair and everything, the more the dye is going to come out. For me, it lasts about a week and a half, and then you can start seeing your natural color starting to come through. But overall, I think it turned out pretty good. Let me know what you think. You've seen the before, you've seen the after, but put it down in the comments. If you have any questions that I may have not covered, let me know. Let me know if you like this video, tell me what you want to see, and remember to share it, like the video, subscribe to my channel, and share this video to all your friends and everyone. I hope I was able to help. Like always, stay blessed, and remember, your body is your temple.